Woody Allen's in the Ant movie
Mm-hmm.
with,
By the way,
Sylvester Stallone and Gene Hackman.
I'm posting an image that we should use for our live stream because it's a good quality image.
You mean it's not gonna be random bullshit go? Because I mean, obviously we're gonna be talking about Moon Knight.
I know Ayrton automatically approves of what I just posted because he just started laughing.
I saw that. I loved it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't understand it, but I appreciate the sentiment.
So this is a fat person who is in right-wing political circles and who has a T-shirt that says "Fed," which is referencing to him being a federal agent or provocateur. Right. But because he's fat, several people said overfed is the joke. But he also talks about himself as a hog. And what are hogs? They're corn-fed. They're corn-fed hogs. That's what most of your piggies eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. The situation surrounding that image is phenomenal. Also, I have officially been blocked by one Ethan Ralph.
Oh wow.
It only took 3 months of dragging him across the internet, but it also proved the fact that he habitually stalks his ex-girlfriend and her father's Twitter accounts.
So you posted something on their accounts?
No, I just tagged Vickers and asked him where my bribe money was.
That was good.
So just to let you know, I am currently not blocked by Ethan Ralph.
Me either.
And Ethan Ralph follows me.
Oh yeah? Well, he followed me too until,
So
that's what was funny about it.
So you know what's really interesting about this topic, right? So my neighbors recently have gotten a hog that likes to holler early in the morning and late at night, and it's starting to become a news.
Does it holler when you shake a gourd at it?
It does. It hollers just when people walk past it and don't acknowledge his.
Does it enjoy corn?
Yeah. And it's really aggravating. And so, us in the neighborhood, we're trying to figure out what we should do.
Have you noticed your whiskey stores? Have you noticed your whiskey stores depleting since they acquired this animal?
Oh, the local liquor store, they hired armed guards now.
Okay.
Good. I mean, the real question is, are you ever going to get them out of the fursuit?
What I think your solution to your problem is getting yourself a Portuguese man to take care of this problem.
Well, I was thinking about hiring a lawyer too.
Anyway, did anybody watch the shit show that was the bowling event?
I did not.
I watched Flamenco's restream of it.
I had to watch it raw because I couldn't tell what the fuck was happening on the restream.
Could you tell what the fuck was happening on the raw stream?
Kind of.
Oh, okay.
Destiny looked so punished. He regretted every second of being there. I know that Dick Masterson left halfway through because he hurt his arm. I guarantee the next thing Ralph invites him to, he'll have a broken neck.
Sorry, Ralph, man. I can't make it. I broke my penis over the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, that is actually a legitimate injury you can get.
I'm aware. That's why I get nervous anytime a chick wants to be on top.
I mean, I'm working on not only getting blocked by somebody, but screwing up my career forever. So, I mean, that works.
Oh, nice.
Who are you working on getting blocked by?
Oh, okay, so White Wolf Games is a shell of its former self, owned by Paradox, the guys who make Stellaris and Crusader Kings.
And also, aren't they sub-owned by another company that Paradox hired to do all the detail work for them?
Basically. But the Paradox wanted to make a new version of Vampire the Masquerade, colloquially called V5. It's the 5th edition of Vampire the Masquerade.
Which is cancer.
And
not for the reasons most people call it cancer, but it is cancer.
So here's the thing. Jason Carl is one of their officers in charge of advertising and media presence. He's actually a great guy. He's creative, he's intelligent, he actually runs a good game. I cannot speak well enough of this gentleman. Okay, I want to be clear. I like Jason Carl. But he recently posted on the BirdNet a image of the Sabbat book, saying that he was going to have a wonderful time reading the Sabbat book. And I said, oh yeah, the Sabbat book. I'm still wondering whose decision it was to make a book for a faction with no mechanics for you to play, and
it's not to be played.
Wait, it's better. And to include all the information on alternate paths of morality with no mechanics to use them. Because I understand the official position that you're not supposed to want to play the Sabbat because they're the bad guys, and that's awful, right? But all the stuff about vampiric theology in the setting, all the things that you're supposed to actually get immersed in that represent your progression as a character, have no mechanical elements. That's a fail. And then this is the 4th book overall in your setting, not including Fall of London, not including the Blood Gods. This is a big faction book, and it's basically nothing. It's a coffee table book. There is no reason to buy it at all.
I've also heard the art isn't very good.
The art is the same art that they're using throughout V5, which is this
not very good.
It's not that it's not very good. It's professionally done photography. It looks very punk and
no, it doesn't.
And with it,
it looks like a terrible cosplay experiment gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
You mean a cosplay experiment?
No. Some cosplay experiments can go very well, especially if it's on a woman with large breastises.
Okay, fair.
Well, see, because here's the irony, actually, in that regard. Back in the day, a lot of people really hated New World. They hated Vampire the Requiem. They hated World of Darkness and the Blue Book, and so on. But one of the selling points to me, which actually brings it back to our video, was that one of the original artists in the original Blue Book, right, was a former Daredevil artist. So they had comic artists doing comic art in their horror game because they understood that horror games are basically comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But this game was bad and wrong compared to the shit you're getting now. Good job.
So Vampire 5th edition was nuked because they published a book which is very relevant for events happening right now, explaining how all the problems in Chechnya were caused by vampires.
Yeah, that's called the core book. They had to rewrite the core rules to remove content about how gay vampire genocide was the scheme of elders to have a expendable undercast of people. They took a real world genocide and made it cute. It was awful. Hey, Jezebel. Jezebel is a friend of mine from the darkness of the internet who has made a horrible life decision and chosen to hang out here.
But
okay, I was just sitting here wondering, is this a bot?
Here's the thing I want to say about the use of Chechnya in Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. So there is a show by very large YouTubers called Red Letter Media, and they have various sub shows. And one of them was reviewing Darkman and explained what's the essence of the pulp.
I just watched that, actually.
What was the essence of the pulp / comic book tone? Is that you could have utterly ridiculous and stupid things in the book, but within the fiction of the book, those things are taken deadly seriously. Because within that fiction, it is serious. Right. So in the original Vampire the Masquerade book, you would have, in the Bruja clan book, you'd have a black Muslim. You'd have a street criminal. You'd have a rapper. You'd have a neo-Nazi. You'd have a tanky. All in the same clan. All of them listening to Slobo, the Croatian leftist philosopher, snort in his nose and explain how blood is actually the true opiate of the masses. that is extremely silly, what I just laid out. But the book treats that all very seriously. And that's why the book works.
This is compounded, actually, by when you really dig into the logic of setting, right? That, like, vampires don't care about human politics. They love manipulating them and mastering them, but the fact of the matter is that once you become the blood-drinking monster of the night, people's specific problems aren't your problems anymore, right? In Requiem, the new version of Vampire, there is a group called the Carthian Movement, which is the new version of Anarchs from Masquerade. And they want to make the new vampiric society. They want to improve things and update this neo-feudal hellhole that they're in, right? But one of the first things it points out is like, no, they're not doing it for humans. That's stupid. We're vampires. What do we care about humans? We don't have to worry about the 6 million dipshits who live on this, or 6 billion dipshits that live on this planet. We only need to think about how do we make a society for the several 100,000 vampires on this planet.
Now, right. Humans are a good test case and experiment for us to figure out how our politics should work.
Of course, and that's absolutely what they do for them. I mean, there are Carthian humanists who want to, like, create a society where we don't need to hide and we can live with the animals, talk with the animals, drink blood from the animals. But the fact of the matter is that they're still trying to work out the how do vampires interact with each other first. And
because that's the important part,
right? And that's the thing, is that is the same internal logic for V5 when you think about it. When you start thinking about, well, we want to have a game, we want to make very important political statements. Vampires wouldn't make that political statement. Okay, and no. What's more, one of the reasons that Requiem went a different way is because subsequent writers realized how bad it is to actually make supernaturals responsible for the worst in human inequities. We don't need vampires and werewolves to do the awful things we do, and the idea that we do them because they're there cheapens the fact that we suck.
You could do it, but you have to be, for vampires at least, you have to be very, very particular about it. So vampires encourage human inequities that encourage more humans to exist, so there's more food.
Well, one of the big ones from Old World, from Werewolf the Apocalypse, was some genius in the writer's room said, hey, you know what? The Geta Fenris are these hyper-pagan Nordic werewolves. Why don't we have it that in their background, some of them thought that the Nazis were a good idea, and they joined the party, and they were all about, let's purge the unclean.
But
which almost works, except for the problem that now you just said one of your playable character types is actually for the Holocaust. Not the way you want to go, guys.
Here's the thing, though. That was the Prussian aristocracy. In actuality. A noble race of Germanic warriors that swore an oath of obligation to Adolf Hitler and ended up participating in atrocities.
Right, but then to say, and they happen to be werewolves, and this was all just a horrible, cartoony misunderstanding for spirit problems, is a bad idea.
I mean, within the fiction of Werewolf the Apocalypse, that doesn't make sense, because, Hitler was, mass killing the unfit, the unwell, the gypsies, who are another werewolf tribe's people, which is a bad.
The thing is that when your narrative is the idea that the werewolves are fighting true spiritual evil, and that there are secret darknesses behind everything, I'm sorry, the guy that's doing mass murder genocide across all of Europe might be feeding the problem. Maybe you don't work for that guy.
Also, the guy doing mass murder genocide and one of your principal enemies could use things like that to, I don't know, summon entire subspecies of evil demon creatures. You probably shouldn't work for that guy.
You just don't do that.
It doesn't make sense within the fiction of their universe. So again, you could have silly things in that comic book tone, but they have to make sense within the universe.
I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense in the stuff we usually talk about. Because when we're always talking about bad comics, what is it? Well, it's because somebody decided I'm going to make a joke about insert group character concept idea here that was
Unsolicited opinions about Israel.
right. That was a invalidation of the real context of the real problems you got going on. Hey, we have a double layered church of failure. Are you having trouble there, church?
A double church.
We had a double church for a minute. Now we don't have a double church.
Oh.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm having issues.
Oh, okay. Church has transitioned into the multiverse and has killed his doppelganger.
Transcended.
Oh,
We're using transcended.
the multiverse. Okay. And destroyed his doppelganger because he must become the one. Which is actually a good movie if you've never seen it.
I feel weird being before church on this stream. Here, I got to move that. All right. Continue, you two.
Yeah, that's about what I picked up too.
So, Joe, have you seen Morbius?
No, I'm going to see that.
We're not talking about Morbius yet.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know we're not going to talk about Morbius yet. I'm talking about my current level of experience with Morbius. I had a ticket using AMC's A-list, which means technically I didn't have a ticket. I could just show up and get in.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I just said, I just don't feel like going to Morbius. And I'm asking Mr. Joe, who's a very big fan of Morbius, please tell me on why I should go to see Morbius. On a related note, Joe also watched Moon Knight. So, Joe, please explain to me why I should care to watch Moon Knight on the Disney Plus, which means getting the Disney Plus pack.
Are we just making me do all the work tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
I told you my neighbor has a new hog that's hollering all the
Happy
time.
birthday!
So I can't sleep. So,
but I figured those two things were great segues.
Well, oddly enough, Morbius and Moon Knight kind of have the same problem, which is a problem not specifically related to the product. We can talk about the product in a minute. And that is that in our sphere, our loose sphere of people, I have been noticing a problem where people are against things. They've not just decided they're against it in principle, right? But sight unseen, they're getting into the herd and they're saying this is the worst thing ever for reasons. Okay, and I was actually commenting about this before we went live that I was kind of saddened that Andre from Midnight's Edge, shout out to Midnight's Edge guys, was commenting on the idea that Morbius is a Marvel film. Morbius is not a Marvel film. Morbius is a Sony film.
Yeah, but the Sony's and Marvel have both blurred that, and
they're doing that to fool people. But the fact of the matter is that you should never have gone into Morbius. No one should have gone into Morbius thinking he's going to live up to Avengers or Iron Man or any of those things.
Here's the thing: the people producing Morbius, though, are the same people who produced successfully Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Except they're not, because
they
the
are.
guys
It's all the same people.
No, they are not actually, because again, Midnight's Edge actually just did a video about this. The guys behind Morbius are the guy who screwed up
the stream is now a Sony movie.
Sweet. The guys who did Morbius are the guys who screwed up the Amazing Spider-Man set. It's some producer dumb shit and Avi Arad. And again, people
right,
were
but they're answering to Amy Pascal and her team now,
which probably helps since the big commentary about Morbius was at least it wasn't woke. That is its claim to fame. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It wasn't woke. That's what people are saying who are actually giving it a fair shake. What I was talking about is the people that want to jump bad and say it's going to destroy Sony's winning streak. It's like, what do you mean destroy Sony's winning streak? I'm sorry. Let There Be Carnage wasn't a win. It was It was a whiff. It passed very quickly. So I like Venom. I like Tom Hardy. I'm not actually on board, or nor have I heard of anyone who actually is like, oh my god, I can't live without the Venom movie. Because,
So let me tell you.
Now we're selling Papa John's too.
Yeah. Let me tell you my problems with the Morbius movie.
Well, before we get on to that, the reason I say that it relates to Moon Knight as well is before Moon Knight had shown, people were starting to say, oh, well, Moon Knight's going to be woke, it's going to be more Disney trash, it's going to be more of this, more of that. Then I saw it, right? And I have some very interesting things to report about that. But
I just thought his suit looked retarded from the trailer. I was like,
which is a reasonable argument. But I've heard lots of people jumping on the bandwagon, but we can get to that in a minute. What do you got, Larry? What's your deal?
So here's my current relationship with Morbius, both as the comic book property and the movie. I never really liked Morbius in the comic book. He was just a guy who showed up in Spider-Man comics with some regularity. And I think he was in a couple of the Midnight Suns comics I saw. But he was there. And I was like, eh. And Jared Leto is a very good actor, but he's not you're hanging a whole movie on Jared Leto actor.
Yeah.
He's a supporting player. And you need a good actor as a supporting player, but I'm not convinced he as Morbius is a reason to watch the movie. So it's an actor I don't particularly care about. With the character, I don't particularly care about. The movie, if reviews are to be believed, is kind of choppy because there's been multiple production teams at Sony and production hell, and it's probably a compromised script product.
The thing is that we read a set of Morbius. We read a Morbius run recently. And oh man, did we have fun talking about that, because
that was like
has
a year
its
ago.
flaws. Yeah, but it has its flaws. The thing is that that's not the Morbius run people should read. If we're going to,
then why'd you have me read that?
Because it was an interesting conversation point to read.
Fair.
But if I go digging up the actual Morbius run, which I've got, and be like, read this, the only people that are going to care about that are older grogs like us. Okay? Because the Morbius run to read is from 1992. Because there was a narrow window when Morbius was a big deal. Right? And Morbius's original run, back in the day, contemporary to the Midnight Suns and so on, was actually really interesting. It has a really great set of antagonists. He does a lot of interesting stuff. Unfortunately, the 90s vampire bubble did not last. And Morbius did not sell after a certain point. I want to say he got more than 12 issues. He got like a fair number of issues.
Yeah, it was like a year and almost a half.
Yeah,
I think.
quite a while, quite a lot of Morbius. But with that in mind, it's like, no, this is a film that obviously is going to do better if you're already invested. You want to see Morbius, right? But it could also arguably be a good jumping off point if you are not a Morbius person. Morbius got 32 issues in his original run.
So it was like almost 3 years.
Yeah. Like I said, I happen to have it. If I was to sight unseen make a criticism that I think is Morbius's primary problem, and it's the problem that's not going to be addressed in the Hollywood sphere, it's that Morbius is not a action superhero film, and shouldn't be. Just in the same way that Ghost Rider is not an action superhero film. And you can hear people typing, you can hear someone losing their mind going, but these superheroes, they fight with the Avengers. No, those are horror comics.
But Ghost Rider was wonderfully insane because of Nick Cage.
Oh, sure. But those are horror comics, and those should be horror movies. You want to do Morbius right, you do Morbius as an R-rated horror film.
Speaking of, Nick Cage would have been fun as Moon Knight.
Yes, because then Nick Cage would have just had to have been Nick Cage. There
right.
wouldn't have been anything involved. That'd be Moon Knight on ketamine.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Now, speaking about Moon Knight, I like Oscar Isaac. I believe Oscar Isaac is a franchise actor. You could sell a movie or a TV series on Oscar Isaac.
Hey, Rena, you were unexpected. Are you hanging out, or did you have a show to chill, or what? I'm sorry to interrupt. But,
No, that's fine.
How dare you?
And also, I actually care about Moon Knight as a character. Not all of the runs of Moon Knight as a character, but I've been engaged with Moon Knight. But I really don't like Disney Plus.
Well, like I said, relative to Morbius, the thing is that if you're a Moon Knight fan, you have a vested interest in seeing it. If you're not a Moon Knight fan, it's a pretty good platform for jumping off. What I find interesting, what I think is the really vital inference that we have to consider when we're talking about this subject, okay, is sure I'm of a mind to see Moon Knight. Ayrton's of a mind to see Moon Knight. You guys might see it because we're on this show in this sphere. My mom doesn't know Moon Knight from Beans. Okay.
I mean, neither does Moon Knight.
My mom and I watched Moon Knight together. I asked Mom, "What do you think?" And she was like, "Well, the narrative's a little weird because it's non-linear. She's not entirely certain what's going on, but my mom wants to see more. She liked what she saw. My mom likes Moon Knight, and that is a viable thing."
But here's the question: does she like Moon Knight, or does she like the skills of Oscar Isaac as a performer?
Well, that's the thing. My mom has seen Force Awakens, but my mom doesn't know who Oscar Isaac is.
Oh, okay. The Disney Star Wars movies is like the worst stuff he's done.
Right, but I'm just saying, my mom doesn't know him as an actor by name.
Somebody's
she wouldn't know
impersonating
him by his
Jack.
face, unless I said, "Oh, Mom, it's that guy who plays Moon Knight."
Yeah, when you gave me the power of the stream, apparently if I type in there now, it comes up as you.
Oh, wow. But
anyways, continue.
But I'm just saying, my mom actually wants to see the Moon Knight show for the Moon Knight show, and it's got 5 more episodes
good job.
to prove itself.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's all good.
Had a moment.
Hey, I'm gonna be 40 in a couple of days. I'm gonna start having senior moments.
Speaking of senior moments, do you want to talk about the slap?
No.
I mean, Church, do we want to talk about it?
All right. I'm going to say this about the slap, and then I'm going to be done with the slap, and you guys can talk about it as much as you want. Some people have been making great sport of Jada Pinkett's alopecia.
I mean, it was hilarious.
Okay. But here's the thing. My introduction to Jada Pinkett was when she was a much younger woman in a little movie you might have heard of called Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. Okay? Where she has very close cropped hair. Jada Pinkett can be as bald as she wants. She's gorgeous. Okay? I do not believe for an instant that she was devastated by people making fun of her bald head.
Hey, all I want to say is it was very brave. It was very brave of Will Smith to stand up for somebody else's girlfriend like that.
Well, there's more to the story, as Ayrton just alluded to. So, Church,
before we get into that, just one more thing. The other reason that I am more or less checked out of this subject is because people made up their fucking mind before it was ever dug into with any depth. I was at a game. I was playing my character. I was in a voice channel. We were all having a good time. People started talking about the slap because it had just happened. Okay, I'm in a room full of women who know nothing about what's going on.
Well, there's your first mistake.
It's outlined how it went down, and they're like, "Oh, well, Chris Rock deserved it." So it's like, whoa! If I walked into a room, slapped one of you in the face, and said you deserved it, you'd be on my ass like white on rice. No one deserves to get punched in the mouth for cracking wise, especially not when they're doing their job. So, I was like, I'm out. I'm not gonna entreat this farce, and it has been a farce. Oh man.
All right.
Carry forward. Carry on.
I just don't know what Will Smith had to be. I just don't know what Will Smith had to be so mad about. I mean, they even gave him a little tiny golden trophy of his wife.
All right. So, Ayrton, are you going to wisecrack in thus making me have to do all the work on the story behind this?
Oh no, I have theories. I think we talked about it last week, didn't we?
I mean, I was gonna wisecrack, but my dog's asking to go out, so I was gonna take her out real quick.
I'm here,
All right,
Larry. I
so
will hear your words.
Anyway, my theory, Larry, is that it wasn't the joke about her hair that pissed him off. It was when he started saying that was an easy one, that was a nice one, implying that he could have gone much deeper in the adultery.
Well, there's actually even more history of Chris Rock making jokes about Jada Pinkett Smith, but
they made a joke about them not being there in 2016. I don't think that has anything to do with it.
No, it does. It does. Because you see, Jada Pinkett Smith has a delusional image of herself as being a major figure in Hollywood, whereas she is basically a TV actress who's gotten a whole bunch of jobs because her husband is the most bankable black actor of his generation. Or at least he was, until what she did. Jada and Will have a toxic relationship. Now, what do I mean by saying they have a toxic relationship? Well, recently, as in the last 2 years, Will admitted that he
her son's, like one of her son's friends.
Well, no. Oh, no.
Sorry,
Church. We're not even getting there yet. We're starting off with like how Will Smith has admitted that he would orgasm so much that he would vomit and have a psychosomatic reaction of vomiting during sex.
I heard that. I heard about that problem.
We're going to go into the fact that Jada went on multiple podcasts and TV shows talking about how for a long period of time in her marriage, she didn't love her husband, and also she wasn't interested in having sex with him and barely interested in doing that while he just sat there and took it. That face, of course, became famous for memes, as you saw Will, being broken up inside that his woman was saying that about him, on international and national television.
We talk about comics, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, wait. We're not done. Jada had her relationship with Tupac Shakur, which many people have claimed is sexual, and there's no evidence that it is sexual. I'm gonna underline that.
I hope it's not sexual now.
I'm going to underline that. But she was very good friends, going all the way back to their art high school days with Tupac. And Will said that Tupac made him feel like his father, who was abusive to him and his mother, and who he also recently detailed how he had complex fantasies about pushing him down a flight of stairs and killing him. And before Tupac's death, Jada was alienated from Tupac. Now, I'm not saying this is what happened, but if your husband compares your friend to the father that abused him that he wants to murder, and then you have a falling out with him, it's likely that's the cause if you're a good person. I'm not sure Jada's a good person, but more on that later. So that alienation makes a bad marriage more complicated. Jada had an open marriage with Will that only she took advantage of. So this to me, also, of Will's 3 children, the 2 who lived and grew up in the house with Will and Jada are both mentally disturbed, crazy. Both those would be a good word. And the one who's with his first wife, who's not famous and is living outside the limelight, is a normal person.
But
so
Larry, eyes are just mirrors to the soul.
So all of these things together are, to me, indicative of the fact that Will and Jada have a terrible and toxic relationship. That Jada has been using Will to advance her career because she's not really that talented. To point out how not talented she is, she lost out on being Will's girlfriend on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and that's how he met her. The star of the show, the titular star of the show, wanted this person to be his girlfriend, and she wasn't good enough to get on it back when he was a scrub.
I just want to mention related subject. I fucking hate Jaden Smith so much.
Yeah.
So much.
He's kind of terrible. So now
have you seen his fucking anime? Have you seen
that? Wait, what?
I have.
What?
I have.
He has an anime?
He has an anime.
What is this
We
called?
we Neo York
Neo Yokio.
Neo Yokio.
Okay.
I told you guys
It
my
is-
stomach wasn't feeling
it is-
well. Why do you do
it
this
is
to
the
me?
most it is the most surreal, like deranged
Like
thing.
there's an entire episode
what?
where Toblerone is the center of the plot.
I
I
see
know.
this.
If David was here, if Coyote was here, he'd be going on about it. He loves that Toblerone bit. I hate it.
But
Should
anyway,
we watch?
so
Should we watch the trailer?
No, you
No,
can't.
no.
Well, okay, maybe the trailer, but no, you can't make me watch the show.
But
I will have a fucking spasm and die.
let me get to the slap that happened. So Chris Rock made a joke that Jada was
Yeah.
irrelevant and has made jokes about her being irrelevant before. And this was at the moment where Will was going to get his Best Actor award. So he makes a joke. Will laughs. Jada gives Will a death stare. Will gets up, smacks another man.
Mhm.
Jada laughs while that happens. And when someone tries to defuse it, Will further acts like a chillerish asshole. So, to my mind, based on the facts I've presented into evidence, Will and Jada have a toxic relationship that's leading to Will becoming more and more emotionally unstable. You should not laud Will Smith for going into a mental health decline and smacking a man. You should not laud his wife for encouraging him to do that. You should not laud his wife for doing things that's leading to her husband's mental health decline. Chris Rock
But Larry, jokes are violence, Larry.
Yeah.
Even if
And-
you don't know somebody has alopecia.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to say you are wrong, Larry, because there are so many factors there that you can't verify one way or the other.
Well, no.
But
Everything
I
I
am-
have verified, everything I've stated, are facts that Will and Jada Smith have stated publicly in the news.
You cannot say with 100% certainty, with foreknowledge, that you know for certain that their relationship is toxic between the two of them.
You kind of can. Look at him.
No. Again,
No,
During-
looking
during
at them
their
is not an
section-
answer.
during at one point in time in their relationship, Will was psychosomatically vomiting during sex.
Right, but if that's what they're into, that's their problem.
Well, no, he's not. He got help for that because that's a problem.
See, because I would make the argument that it is also just as likely that there is an element of social power here. Because if you didn't know, Will Smith has an obsession with the Karate Kid as a film project. Okay? He has an obsession with his past on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And he is doing a lot of things as a producer. He made Cobra Kai. He made the Karate Kid movie to try and get his kid a career. And now he's doing a series called Bel-Air, which is what if we took the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but instead of being a fun comedy,
Made it gay.
I mean, yes, but no. Turned it into
Made it a drama, but
not just that. Specifically, let's turn it into the worst idea for that Archie TV show, Glendale. He wants to remake Glendale's failure using the show he used to be on as a producer. That's not just a sign of I have problems with my wife. That might in fact be I have problems being disconnected from reality because I'm a powerful person now and don't think I ever should have made it this far.
I mean,
You-
yeah, but those are also elements of declining mental
I don't
health.
know. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's as deep as two.
I'm sorry. What was that, Church?
Did Church fall into the shadow?
Something
Well,
like
I don't think it's
I've-
as deep as as all
I have to
that.
call
I
an
think
idiot who doesn't know how to
literally
deliver
it was
food.
A little bit of, like you said, he got a death stare from his wife, but it was as deep as all that. I think it was like you said, he got the death stare from his wife. I think it was the implied cuck jokes that Chris Rock. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you were
Hello?
cutting.
Yeah, you've been cutting in and out, Church.
Oh, God damn it.
But I think the biggest takeaway is Will can't do anything to actually really, really harm Jada, because if he accidentally kills her, she'll just be with Tupac.
Thank you, Ayrton. That was the joke we needed.
You're welcome.
I missed the joke.
I was covering for you.
If Will kills Jada, she'll be with Tupac. Unless, of course, we believe that Tupac isn't actually dead.
I mean, I saw him sing with Snoop recently.
Okay. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. One other thing is I don't think it's as deep as the Tupac, the her history past thing. I think that for the past 3 years, the man's been fucking broken. And it has to do with their relationship being so shitty and her fucking around with her son's friends. And, it just, Chris Rock said that was an easy one. That was a nice one. And he knew what that meant. And I think he's just tired of people talking about him being a giant cuckold.
Which is fair. I mean, that's what Jack Murphy did.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So I don't think he was justified in slapping Chris Rock. And
he was not.
I think there was a slow motion video. I'll send it to you after the show, Larry. But you can see that when it happens, Chris Rock, his right hand is cocked and ready to fucking go.
Yeah.
Like, he has to stifle a punch.
So here's something interesting. Chris Rock had a rage problem that he's went and gotten therapy about, which is also an interesting interrelated thing. So, Ayrton, you may not know this story. As a kid growing up in New York, people were whipping Chris Rock's ass. So he got a brick in his backpack and he beat somebody half to death with a brick.
Hell yeah.
So after that point in time, Chris Rock was deathly afraid of unleashing his anger at people. Because, he still sees himself as that kid who was nearly killing somebody with a brick.
I mean, which is pretty gangster when you think about it, though.
No, absolutely.
And, that's something my mother did.
And justified. Somebody's whipping your ass and you're too small to defend yourself. Carry a brick.
Yeah. Well,
the
one my mother did was a little bit more severe. My mother, there's somebody who was bullying her, but who was not actively physically assaulting her. She just started chucking bricks at the guy.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Your mother sounds pretty awesome.
No, she is. She is. My mother is a prime example of why most people believe that women fight dirty, because they do.
I mean, they do.
Yeah.
Which you could also carry. I just posted in the Twitter chat a fun little quick clip. Instead of a brick, I feel like this might be
call an ambulance, but not for me.
Come on, isn't that awesome, Larry? Look at that thing. Isn't that badass?
I mean, that is badass.
Yeah, I totally want one.
I mean, I actually need to talk to my regular DM and say, hey, what would it cost? How would I stat out this as a weapon for my cyberpunk character?
Which, by the way, Larry, this is an actual product you can buy.
No, it is. I can see that.
What is it?
Up.
I can't pull it up just at the moment.
It's basically a flexible machete that you can put on a belt.
Yeah,
and wear.
It's
nice.
like a machete or sword that like goes inside your belt, so you can just like draw it out from there. It's badass. They're like $200, and they're 1095 heat treated steel, so like they'll hold up.
We should email this guy and ask if we can be an advertisement for him.
Review him. Brought to you by Razor. That's the name of the company.
But I'm planning to see Sonic the Hedgehog Part 2.
Sponsor us. By sponsor us, just send us like 4 of those.
Yeah.
But I'm planning to see Sonic the Hedgehog Part 2 when it comes out next week. Seeing Sonic 2.
Same.
And Sonic 2 may be the last movie for Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's
I hope
talking
so.
about how this may be his last movie. He may be retiring. He may be hanging up his hat.
Speaking of which, another predominant actor hung his hat up. Bruce Willis, diagnosed with aphasia at 67, I believe.
Yeah, and that's not a good time.
No, and he's probably top 5, one of my favorite actors, if not number 1, top 5 at least.
Now, I did see something pretty cool on Twitter. Somebody said, "All right, you're going to have a Bruce Willis film festival. The only catch is it can't be a Die Hard movie. What are your 5 movies?"
For Bruce Willis,
Yeah, but it
Hudson
can't be a
Hawk.
Die Hard movie.
Yeah, that's fine. Hudson Hawk, The Last Boy Scout, Fifth Element, um, Looper, and The Expendables.
Okay. Ayrton, what about you?
I only I only know The Fifth Element and The Expendables that are not Die Hard movies with him in it. So,
Okay. So let me lay out to you.
Unbreakable, actually, over The Expendables.
I
Yeah.
forgot about Unbreakable. Yeah,
There is in fact Unbreakable. So let me lay out to you some choices that I had that neither of you had. The Color of Night. The Color of Night is a very tawdry movie where
Mhm.
Bruce Willis is a psychologist who takes over a group therapy group run by Scott Bakula, who gets murdered. And everybody in the group therapy group has this hot girlfriend who also ends up hitting on Bruce Willis because she has dissociative identity disorder. And her
Mhm.
brother, who's in the group and also had sex with her because, it's that kind of a movie, is a killer.
Mhm.
And Bruce Willis's character develops psychosomatic color blindness where he can't see the color red anymore. So Blood is a big goopy sludge. An excellent movie. I highly recommend it. Also, Day of the Jackal. I would recommend Day of the Jackal just because of its soundtrack. Its soundtrack is really amazing. In that, Bruce Willis's character is a professional assassin who goes around the world murdering people, and has Sidney Poitier leading the FBI team against him. Richard Gere is an IRA assassin who knows what he looks like, and Richard Gere is actually a drag in this movie. Because, Bruce Willis is interesting in his character performance. Sidney Poitier is interesting. The actress who plays the Russian chick, also interesting. There's 12 Monkeys, another excellent
12
movie.
Monkeys is a great movie.
Also another great movie, Death Becomes Her, of which she's in. He's not the
Meryl
star.
Streep and Goldie Hawn.
Yep. An excellent movie.
Yeah. Well, but people just don't appreciate how versatile Bruce Willis has been in his career.
he's played a lot of
They just
different
see
bald
John
men
McClane and they
that
think
shoot
that's all
people.
he can do. They don't remember The Honeymooners.
Also, he was in The Whole Nine Yards.
Yeah, they don't remember The Honeymooners,
movie.
for fuck's sake.
Are we talking about Bruce Willis?
We are.
Ah.
So
An actor who will actually be remembered well.
Yep. Like all these trashy movies he's done because he has a horrible condition that's going to lead to him dying and having dementia. None of those trashy movies are going to be remembered by people. His good movies are, though. So, 5 movies that are not Die Hard by Bruce Willis. What are your top 5?
No, yeah.
RuneKnight.
Well, Whole Nine Yards for one.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Continue.
Oh, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Bruce Willis films
Oh,
not
we were
to
listing
Die Hard.
our top 5.
Give me a second because I don't remember the name of it, but I know the film and I like it. Sixth Sense.
We'll probably just. Yep.
Striking Distance.
The movie that proved that.
Oh, Striking Distance. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Bruce Willis is a river cop in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
A
A little bit of a Last Boy Scout vibe.
Oh, and that was the other one, Last Boy Scout. Last Boy Scout's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So oh, go ahead.
I said Hudson Hawk as well because that's just so good. It's just so good. Would you like to swing on a star?
That movie both has great bits and terrible bits. That's the thing.
Oh yeah.
But my favorite part about that is a group of thieves that actually sing music to time their thievery. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It could have been great in a better movie.
That movie actually would have been better, I think, as a TV series.
Nah, I think you drag it out, it becomes
let's see.
too cheesy.
Give me
Like,
a
it got to be a little too cheesy by the end of it, but it was still acceptable.
Because I was walking through it. We did Whole 9 Yards, Striking Distance, Last Boy Scout.
You had Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense. 12 Monkeys.
Okay.
12 Monkeys was actually also an okay TV show, not great.
Let us consider that.
I never watched the TV show.
So some honorable mentions. Look Who's Talking.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have a laugh?
Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't think about those, but his voice parts, yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm. Bruce.
Fifth Element.
Mm-hmm. I called that one as well.
I like the Jackal. I know people didn't.
I also like the Jackal.
Larry kind of sold me on it. I hadn't seen it, but Larry sold me on it.
I mean,
the soundtrack for the Jackal's amazing.
Everybody's seen Unbreakable, of course, but The Siege.
Oh, The Siege is another great one.
Unbreakable. I don't want to be clear. Not Glass, not Split. That's all that shit is aftermarket add-on. Just Unbreakable is great.
Split was good on its own, but when they introduced it as being part of the multiverse, it kind of lost a little bit of its luster for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Of course, Bruce Willis's parts in Sin City were great.
Yeah.
16 Blocks and Lucky Number 11.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually looking at his filmography. Just notice all the things I remember personally seeing that aren't Die Hard.
I've got one of those DVDs that. You guys remember those DVDs they used to put out at Walmart before everything was streaming? They would just have 4 obscure movies with one actor in common.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's how I saw 16 Blocks, and it was fucking amazing.
Let's see. I'm a weirdo. I actually enjoyed Cop Out.
But anyway,
Kevin Smith didn't enjoy Cop Out, but he's now saying, maybe Bruce was starting in his early stages of aphasia back then, and if that's the case, I would apologize.
Well, yeah, of course he wants to backpedal. I think the thing about Cop Out is that they actually used Bruce Willis just right. Bruce Willis as the straight man to an idiot in the form of I forget the actor, the comedian's name, is genius.
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, Tracy Morgan's obnoxious. Tracy Morgan's not funny. Tracy Morgan opposite Bruce Willis being serious, hilarious. And Red wasn't bad. If you guys saw Red.
Red was good. That had the,
Red 2 not good. Red was good. And Red's also a comic book movie.
Yeah.
I just want to point something out, though. There's one thing that I don't ever remember seeing Bruce Willis do, and that was get overly, personal with his politics in public. He was just a good actor. I have no idea what side of the floor he stands on, and don't care.
Well, let's dig deeper here for a minute.
This is how people will talk about actors that maintain that kind of. Go ahead.
Well, let's dig deeper for a minute, because Bruce Willis is something else that people aren't going to remember, but anyone who's a serious Bruce Willis fan will. Do you guys know the character of Bruno?
I think so.
Bruno was a character Bruce Willis played in one of his films or TV. Okay. It had an animated series later, but that doesn't matter. Bruno is a musician, And Bruce Willis is actually a musician. He does blues. Bruce Willis is amazingly good with blues. He plays the fucking harmonica.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Basically, anytime Bruce Willis does music, he's tapping into that character. And it's great. But, like, you wouldn't know that he does music. Just like I think most people don't know that Alice Cooper and Johnny Depp are in a band.
Also, the G.I. Joe movie Bruce Willis was in is the only one of those G.I. Joe movies I don't hate.
Wait, he was in that? Which one?
He played General Flagg in one of the movies.
I didn't recall. The thing is, I hated the first G.I. Joe movie so much that even though I've seen 90%... Even though I've seen 90% of Rise of Cobra, I just put it into a void in my brain and don't want to remember. Hello, Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy tried to hit me up to get into voice chat for the game, and I said I'm currently on a stream with Joe. So,
well, I mean, Kathy could come get into voice chat. She's one of the few people in my friend group who, if they were in voice, they wouldn't sound like they were talking underwater. I have several friends who have less qualitative setups than myself, which is, reasonable. But not everybody should be on stream. Otherwise I'd be like, hey, Coyote, come hang out with us. Then you get that all-important indigenous people's perspective. We could talk about Forge.
I mean, Forge is a good character.
Yeah, but who cares about Forge?
Well, no. Forge is a good character who's never been given a good run.
He's an interesting concept for a character.
Yes.
Well, I love Forge mainly because of the X-Men cartoon.
Well, especially when you consider that Forge could actually
they gave
run
Forge
circles.
more play in the X-Men cartoon. Well, they gave.
I was going to say,
they
when you
gave
consider that
more
Forge
play in the X-Men cartoon than they've ever given him in the comic books.
I mean, if you consider that Forge could run circles around Tony Stark, that's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And he chooses not to because he knows it would be wrong.
But if the roles were reversed, Tony Stark would 100% do it. And we know this because Superior Iron Man exists.
Well, that and because of the entirely incorrect interpretation of futurism that some idiot writer at Marvel has, where the person who creates the technology is somehow not responsible for the consequences of that technology as long as it moves society forward.
Even though that's been a major plot device in multiple runs of Iron Man. Oh no, people are using my technology irresponsibly. I have to stop them.
Well, that's what Forge is all about. Forge is like, I could make amazing mechanical technology. I could innovate. But the consequences of what I could do... if he was almost taken in by the Phalanx. He was the only person the Phalanx were like, we don't want to consume you. You're smart enough, you understand what we're doing is right. And he was kind of conflicted, like, well, the Phalanx would end world hunger, war, and conflict by making everyone part of the Phalanx. It might be a good idea.
So let's see, did we miss anything else we had talked about doing before the show? We
could pull a Jen Psaki real quick and circle back to Will and Jada, because Miss Rena asked why doesn't Will just divorce Jada already?
Oh, I'm sure there's a prenup that would be 50% of his stuff.
Get all of his money.
Yeah.
It would destroy his career more than he's already done.
Yeah, he would have nothing because the courts suck.
And, I mean, he's not really getting those good acting jobs anymore.
He hasn't had a good acting job since Independence Day.
Oh, that's rough. I mean, I don't disagree, but...
Do we want to talk about how Will Wheaton has embarrassed himself yet again?
You mean by existing?
That he's saying, William Shatner was mean to me. when we first met. And William Shatner's like, I don't remember that. Nobody else who was there remembers that, but I've apologized to you like 4 or 5 times about that.
What does he say that William Shatner did? Because that
He was just like extremely rude and arrogant to him.
That's just Will Shatner.
Supposedly, William Shatner made fun of Will Wheaton's costume.
No, William Shatner.
And said that he would never allow a kid on the bridge of the Enterprise. And the thing is like, yeah, no, that's entirely something Shatner probably fucking said.
Yeah.
Right? But that's also entirely the kind of thing that Shatner would do, because no one who has ever worked with William Shatner long term has never said he's not an asshole.
But also, remember how Will, when he was at that point in his career, said a whole bunch of racist stuff to Michael Dorn?
I don't actually remember that.
No.
Give me a second.
Quote all of it word for word.
Let me get the details.
I mean, I don't think we specifically need
Who in their right
word
mind would say a bunch of racist stuff to Worf?
Well, Michael Dorn's a very tall man, so this is
Michael Dorn's a very
hardcore.
large man.
Yeah, this is incredibly hardcore, if true. Horrible, but hardcore.
He's like Lou Ferrigno big. Well, a lot of people don't realize that, but oh yes, unbreaded, indubitably. Hey,
by the way, but by the way, no, Ayrton, I must disagree with you. He did Enemy of the State after Independence Day, so Will Smith has been in better movies.
I haven't seen Enemy of the State, so.
Oh man, see Enemy of the State. Gene Hackman's in it. He's amazing.
I have a list of like 78 movies from like 1983 onwards that people keep telling me I need to see. So
Sure.
I will add it to the list and probably never actually watch it because I'll forget.
Well, because here's the thing: he's also in Men in Black 2 and Bad Boys 2, which were not terrible, but
yeah, Men in Black 2 wasn't horrible.
The thing is like iRobot was in 2004, and I can't actually say iRobot was a good depiction of what it claimed to be. But then after that is Shark Tale.
I forgot about iRobot.
And Hitch and Pursuit of Happiness and I Am Legend. And it's like, no, there's a distinct downward trend after iRobot.
Okay, I Am Legend, although not a great representation of the original source material, was a pretty decent movie.
It was a okay movie ruined in the last moment. It's like a serviceable. It's like a symphony that is just ruined in the last act, in the last movement. It all turned to shit.
And they filmed the correct ending.
No, they filmed the wrong ending.
No, they filmed an alternate ending where the vampires, treated him like he was a monster, and they saved like the mother of their child and took him out.
Right, but that wasn't the one they released.
No, that wasn't.
They released the wrong ending.
Yeah.
And we have to.
It's interesting
Aren't
that
they
whole
talking about
movie.
doing another one of those?
Probably.
It's interesting that in that movie, it's about him trying to find a cure for Jada's alopecia.
We also need to give credit where credit's due. Will Smith has a absolutely hilarious cameo in Anchorman.
I've actually never seen Anchorman.
Anchorman 2. There's a bit where all of the anchor people get into like a giant brawl, and Will Smith is an ESPN reporter.
Mm-hmm. Trying to find that article I found the thing where it talked about how Will Smith made racist comments and like everybody in the cast was like, not that's not cool.
Not Will Smith, William Shatner.
Will Wheaton
I did
made the
made
racist comment.
Wait, whoa. Because I understand I screwed up earlier, but let me get this straight. Will Wheaton made racist comments to Michael Dorn?
Oh, I thought you said William Shatner did it.
No, Wheaton made it.
No,
Shit.
I'm Googling this now, too.
Yeah, now I want to know.
Like I said, he was very brave.
Because he was a little scrawny thing, but the problem is that Will Wheaton talks so much about racism, Google searches are making it difficult to find.
Let's see. Will Wheaton apologizes for past homophobia.
Lou Ferrigno is a sweet guy, Kathy, and I don't feel any empathy for Will Wheaton.
Me either,
because,
but this is hilarious.
Well, no, Miss Rena says she feels bad for him because he's in a loveless marriage with someone who doesn't respect him, which is sad. It is sad, but I don't feel any empathy for Will Wheaton because to Will Wheaton, I am the enemy. Despite never having met me or never having done anything against him. So, I must establish my defensive line and be like, no.
See, I remember Will Wheaton back when he was a failed Star Trek actor.
Miss Rita said I meant Will Smith, not Will Wheaton.
Oh, well, that's different.
Yeah, no, okay, I can feel bad for Will Smith.
Man, this is really hard to find. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's probably been buried by Will Wheaton's advocates who don't want to let it spread that he did this thing.
I wonder if it'd be in any of the Wikipedia articles.
No, that's where the people go first to destroy the truth.
Fair.
But disregardless, what else do we have on the sheet for our docket, sir? Mr. Church of Failure.
Your action hero music in the background.
No, I can hear music in the background.
Probably on my mom's end.
Oh, okay.
You guys are looking at me like I had a plan.
I mean, you are the voice of this show.
It doesn't mean I have a plan. I've been trying to hold down my my lunch since we started, so really haven't been thinking that far ahead. But no, we wanted to talk about some things. We were going to try and wrap the Chronicles of Darkness, but I think we've cut into that time quite a bit.
I mean, we can do that. We can do that thing if you guys want to do that.
Is Church feeling well enough to do that?
I was going to say, about how long would that take?
Well, I mean, if we get right into it and don't fuck around, it's 20 to 7. We can do it in 20 minutes.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
I mean,
if you want to,
it does sound pretty. I mean, I'm okay with doing it, but church does sound kind of pukey.
I mean, church.
You guys
often.
There's been a. Because,
huh?
Oh yeah, this isn't booze though. For once, it's not booze afflicted. There's been a stomach virus running around my town like fucking wildfire.
Yeah, we heard about that.
Like I said, it got my whole household, and in a span of 24 hours, it took us all down. Like everyone was just writhing in pain. This isn't that bad. I've been feeling queasy since the show started.
I mean, we only have one person watching. It's probably me. So, I can't... Oh, no, Kathy's apparently here. She's sorry to hear that you're not feeling well.
So
sorry. Thank you very much, Kathy.
I did find Will Wheaton says in a lengthy social media post, this is from New York Post, he detailed a moment when he was young and said a slur referencing gay men in a locker room, a room full of gay men, no less. He said he was embarrassed and horrified and still thinks about it all the time. offering up an apology nearly 30 years after the incident.
I mean, that was a different incident, but he was apparently an a-hole because he was more famous than everybody else on the show except for Patrick Stewart. And he kind of acted that way.
Okay.
Arguably, LeVar Burton was also fairly famous.
Well, I mean, he was the Reading Rainbow guy.
Mm-hmm. But
He
before
was the
that,
Reading
he was in a
Rainbow
little
guy.
thing called Roots.
Yeah, seen that too. Alongside this little thing, matter of the name of O.J. Simpson. I think he's going places. I think he's going to take a stab at famous.
Yeah, if you guys think we can wrap this whole Chronicles thing in 20 or so minutes and move on. I'm assuming Vern, you're just going to merge me with the flesh monster and
Oh no! So as you may
here's the
recall,
thing.
where we left.
Well, here's the thing, though. Why would he merge you with the flesh monster? What if you were the flesh monster the whole time, and you've just only now regained your true self-awareness?
Look, the real experience was the flesh monsters we found along the way.
That's right. Now we left off, I believe, outside of the vampire nightclub.
Yep, you were about to enter the rack to have the sit down with the vampires, perchance to get protection for yourselves and Cool Ride.
All right.
Kathy says that's not dark enough. It's like, okay, I'll have to make it darker and edgier. So are you guys ready to go? Do you need anything? Do you need a last minute sody?
Nope, I got the
Oh,
Discord dice spot up. I'm ready to go.
Okay. So you approach the rack. You are stopped by a security guy. He in turn very clearly radios in, pushes that little sprig of speaker in his ear, says some words. There's an exchange you are not made familiar of, and you guys are let past the line, past the velvet rope, directly into the rack, which is a nightclub, and you guys know nightclubs. Let's see what I can do here. Let's see, can I find an exactly 20-minute long?
I'm already
The
on it.
royalty-free part is...
I'm already on it for the music. Rune, just continue.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. So music exists. I just can't hear it.
No, I'm pulling it. I'm pulling it up.
Okay, cool. It is Babylon in here. You've got very scantily clad young women. You've got equally scantily clad young men. You've got people of business and industry rubbing shoulders with people of the drugs and persuasion.
I mean, those are different industries.
Right. And where else are you going to meet each other except at a nightclub? And you guys are, in fact, brought directly into the back room. So some people stop and note you, how you guys look, how you're dressed. I mean, Cool Ride looks like a dude in a Hawaiian shirt with cargo shorts. He's very mellow. Did you guys dress up at all before this excursion, or do you basically still look like the same beaten and bedraggled individuals you are?
I put on my best T-shirt.
Sweet. What does the T-shirt say?
I look exactly the same.
Does your T-shirt say relapse time on it?
No, just a plain
Hold
black
up.
T-shirt.
Hold up. It should say relapse time on it if we have those available for sale. Do we have those available for sale, Church?
Not at the moment. I need to get off my ass and do that.
In matter of point, remember this Minnesota of the Chronicles of Darkness is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends and Raycons.
Raycon Shadow Legends.
Yeah, buy Coke, please. And Papa John's, Papa's Pizza. But you are brought into the back, and it is not the gathering you expected from what was outside. You expected more bacchanalia. You expected more fancy people being sexy and lewd. What you see is a long table like a boardroom, and there is a gentleman sitting at the head, and then left and right next to him was a procession of individuals.
Hey, Ayrton, turn the music down just
a little bit.
Okay, how's that?
It's all good.
Okay.
Little more. Okay.
Right.
So what have you got? There's a young woman. She's well dressed, quite good looking, but has the appearance of an academic. There's a younger end, maybe 20 or 25-year-old black man in a suit. There's a dude in a full-on male like kimono who has the appearance of dried jerky or old leather over a skeleton. There's a dude in a white suit who makes it very uncomfortable to look at, as though he's uncanny valley, because you think it's a he, but you can't identify sex, and you can't identify if it is a person or a device. It just doesn't look real enough to be a person. There's a person sitting there who is currently inhaling a literal mountain of cocaine. Like, he's got a little tray in front of him, and he's got the straw, and he's just going, and he has not come up yet. Okay.
Hey, man, pass that over.
He looks at you and is like, hey, get your own. This one's mine. And just keeps going.
Cool ride,
I want to be clear.
Stay with us.
I want to be clear. There is no human way he can ingest that much cocaine and not die.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But he's making a go of it. But the secretarial woman with the sour attitude, who you know to be the seneschal, approaches. She gestures to a guy with a literal poleaxe, who taps the floor twice, calling the gathering to attention, and announces, quote, Prince Governor Archibald, Praxis of the Pact, chosen of the Imperator Noctis, overlord of the Prima Invicta. And, like, with that, literally, the gathering is called to order. They do not offer you a chair. No effort is made to make you comfortable or welcome.
Yeah.
The seneschal turns and says that the prince will now hear petitions from the unaligned, and all eyes kind of turn towards your trio ominously.
And we're here for that. This is out of character. I'm just trying to remember. We're here for what exactly? Protection from...
The guys who are after Cool Ride are now technically after you.
Yeah.
And it was Cool Ride's suggestion that these guys could offer you protection by protecting him.
Okay, so in a roundabout way, I feel like the first thing I should do is be... I don't know. I've kind of assumed the role of the speaker of the group.
Yeah, because I'm tempted to just pull out a gun and shoot that one bitch from earlier.
You shouldn't do that.
That's the way you want to play it. That could wrap the game a lot earlier.
I mean, you two are food to them.
Yeah, well, he is. They don't like the taste of metal.
I mean, I will mention, Ayrton, for you that you've been feeling really good tonight. As you feel better at night anyway. But as you entered this room, as you entered this space, it's like, oh wow, this feels like coming home, because these beings are closer to you than you are to, say, church, right? You feel like you could hang with these people and maybe, I don't know,
do some coke.
Do some coke, yeah.
So I explained the situation all the way back to the school. The first, like, I just give the entire detailed rundown of everything we've been through and how we got to this point. And basically, I lead in with the explanation of we had no intention of being involved with any of this. We just kind of fucked up into it.
So as you're telling your story, another one of the security guys comes in and he walks up to the dude with the pole axe, who in turn walks over to the seneschal. There's a lot of whispering going on while you continue to tell your story, and eventually she leans over, she whispers to this Archibald guy who's watching you. He says something back, and they say, yes, we will verify this tale before we make our decision. And the doors behind you open, and they walk in a guy that you have maybe seen in passing, but I'm pretty sure I hadn't introduced before. First and foremost, I mean, he's a hobo. It's ridiculous. Okay? Bare feet. He's not wearing a shirt. He's got, like, dirty pants on. And he has, like, very overtly has only one functioning eye. The other one's all molded over flesh, like he got wrecked in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
He's got scars and shit all over. And the dude with the polearm introduces him as Temujin, Alpha of the Kingslayers. And he is invited to step forward, so he's standing next to you guys. And the governor's like, please, tell us this tale. Is what they say true? Temujin doesn't say anything. He's just standing there for like a long minute. Everybody's kind of staring at him, wondering what's going to go down. And eventually, when he feels that he's dominated the room enough, he's like, okay, I'm going to say this once. I'm going to make myself very clear. You will give us the mortals and the spirit, and we will go. As you may imagine, your hosts don't look particularly pleased at being dictated to.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any actions at this juncture?
I kind of want to roll a perception check.
Okay. That's a wit's composure.
Okay.
I've been playing it straight the whole time, but I've got a real strength from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia in my gut tonight. I think I'm just gonna start blasting.
I got 2 successes.
Okay.
So before church starts blasting.
Right. So this guy's standing, his arms behind his back, very very officious, very military. And you notice that his index and middle fingers are crossed.
Oh, so he's crossing his fingers and lying to us.
I mean, maybe. You're not quite
Or he's
sure
lying
what
to them.
You know that's
Alright.
a common image for lying, but you don't know why he'd be doing. He doesn't have to cross his fingers to lie to people.
All right. Let's
I go stand behind Temujin.
let's go with him.
All right.
So you guys are moving to surround Temujin.
Mm-hmm.
No, go behind him. Don't. He doesn't seem like the kind of person surrounding would be a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
he doesn't move. He's very aware of you being back there.
By the way, do I still have a gun from earlier, Rune?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Just double
Yeah,
checking.
we weren't stripped of our weapons coming in here.
No.
I didn't remember if I took it with me after the last thing or
I
not.
lean over to you guys and say, why don't we go with them and see where this takes us? There's 4 of us. We've gotten out of sticky situations before.
There's
I just
three
wanna go
there's
home.
three and a half of us,
No.
but sure.
Well, yeah,
Oh.
but you know.
So this governor guy stands up. He is affronted. He is seething, and he's like, "How dare you come into this rack and dictate to me? I am the prince. I rule this city by the will of the people and the blood." And Temujin just stands there, and he's like, "And what are you but a foreigner? Some stranger from another island, from another land? And you come to my city to tell me what I will and won't do?" And Temujin just stands there. And he's like, "What makes you possibly think that you could even leave this room alive to have such temerity? You are not protected by the Pax Sanguinius. You are not part of this domain." And Temujin says, "This." And you watch him uncross his fingers. And I now need Dex athletics rolls from everyone.
All right.
Dex athletic. The combined. Okay. That's 6 for me.
Where the hell is my athletic? Oh, there it is.
And yes, I know. I saw that cackling, Kathy. I appreciate that you know what's about to happen.
I have no successes.
I got 1.
Okay.
Where's the dice roller at in here?
Dungeons and Dragons chat.
Yeah, we use the same roller room for Dungeons and Dragons for this because we are silly like that.
Larry is very successful.
Okay.
By
How many
dumb luck.
successes?
I got
many-
3 successes, one of which was critical.
Oh, nice.
Can I perhaps use the fact that I was fairly successful to keep Ayrton from getting brutally, violently injured from what's about to happen?
No.
Okay. Ayrton, no, I did try to do something for you, buddy.
I've already lost an arm, so.
Yeah, we got you that back though.
Oh, right.
You gotta hack the bot.
Yeah, I've actually been teaching people to do this enough times that it's like, oh, I screwed up. How stupid of me.
Way to go.
Yeah, that's what we need. So he uncrosses his fingers, and the world becomes fire as the building explodes. The entire building.
So how much damage do we all take?
So that is a conflagration.
I feel like it's enough.
If you did not succeed, because that's what really matters here. Is if you did
Which
not
is
succeed.
Ayrton.
Yeah. Excuse me a minute. There we are. Because it's great and small. Fire. Oh, okay. And in front. Okay. If you are not, if you did not succeed, you take 8 lethal, as you are set on fucking fire. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. 8, 9, 10, 11 lethal, as you are set on fire.
How much do you take if you were successful?
So I'm dead.
If you were successful, you take half. And I believe, Church, you have damage reduction because you got metal bits.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that means I'm dead, right?
Well,
I'm pretty sure you're dead. How many health levels you got?
8.
Right. So you just filled up on lethal and then rolled over to 2 aggravated. You in fact are blown to chunky burning salsa.
God damn it.
yeah, that's not a good time.
So for those who are still alive, I need a strength athletics roll.
All right. That'll be 8 for me.
I love that you turned on the sad violin.
I did not do that on purpose. I can't actually hear the music coming through, so
3 successes.
Okay.
You gotta
I
add
forgot.
the bot and roll
Yeah, I
for it.
gotta add the bot.
I'm so
Yeah,
used to different bots and their different protocols.
once Larry stops boomering this up.
All right.
Okay, so you guys successfully keep rubble from burying you under burning shit.
Well, that's excellent.
You know, you in fact still have freedom of movement. As the immediate flash of the explosion passes, you become very aware of what you're looking at. And when I said building, I didn't mean building. I meant block. Because somebody blew the gas main. You are surrounded not only by screaming humans, but you are surrounded by screaming vampires. You literally watch that Archibald dude turn to ash, screaming as he dies horribly. You are surrounded by people.
What a
who are
waste of
fucking
cocaine.
No, here's actually the irony about that. The dude who was snorting cocaine, who is on fire, is like, no, the cocaine! And he's trying to snort it faster.
Also, the cocaine's on fire while he's snorting it.
But is otherwise seems to be fine, like getting set on fire is something that happens to him every day. It is pure anarchy. You are also well aware that a group of like 5 dudes, 5 horrifying monsters, have landed on Cool Ride and are tearing him apart. You are literally watching bits of flaming Cool Ride be ripped off and in ephemeral chunks and flung through the air.
I can see where this is going, and I'm going to pull Frank from Sunny in Philadelphia and start blasting.
I start blasting. I'm just blasting.
I'm just going to start shooting at anything that's not human.
Sounds like a wonderful time. So, with that in mind, do you now? I'm going to use a complicated question. Do you guys want to roll initiatives, or would you prefer to mediate these results?
I'm assuming that the initiative went out the window when the building exploded.
Well, I mean, that actually simplified the initiative.
It did.
Yeah.
It reduced the initiatives down to 2 on 6.
Yeah.
But no,
I'm choosing for mediation because my character is not where he's supposed to be right now.
right.
He was handling his charges, and one of them is dead, and that's a problem.
Right. So here is the thing of it, and technically we should have Moody here too. Moody is also on fire.
I'm assuming that Moody is the one that lit the gas main.
Yeah, he had an IED.
No, it's actually worse than that. Temujin lit the gas main.
That was why I went to stand behind him immediately.
Because he's immune to his own bullshit.
No, fuck that guy. He blew me up. I'm shooting at him too if he gets close enough.
Oh, you can shoot him. He is ready to go. I'm just saying that he is immune to his own explosion.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying. My whole thing from here on out is I'm just shooting at everything until I run out of bullets for life.
So here's the thing. The goal of your opposition is simply to kill you.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm sorry to say, but 2 mortals, no matter how enhanced, versus 6 werewolves who came ready to go, you're done. It's really a question of what kind of soliloquy, what kind of awesome scene would you like in the death throes of your characters?
Oh, I'm cracking everything I got, burning every will point I got. I mean, I'm taking at least 1 or 2 of them with me.
Okay.
While calling them all a bitch.
That's right.
Right. You motherfucker. Larry,
I'll be Huckleberry. Click, click.
As you say, Larry, this is not your element, but I mean, running out of the fire, over the wreckage, through the corpses is not easy. So, are you going to make a dramatic last stand, or are you going to attempt to escape and die trying?
I'm going to attempt to escape and die trying because I was assigned to a specific place, and I only got involved because these guys were from my place, and I was trying to minimize their dying, which I was grossly unsuccessful at.
You were not prepared for this. I don't think anyone was prepared for the day someone decided to just say, fuck it, and light the world on fire.
Church, will you make sure in your blaze of glory you shoot that one bitch in the face?
Oh, she's the first target.
Okay.
No. She's a kindred. She's on fire. Fire is aggravated damage for kindred. She is probably dead or dying.
That's okay. It's the principle of the matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With my dying breath, I'll put my last bullet in her before I kill over.
Okay. Sweet. So let us discuss aftermath. In the first, while some people will weep your passing as mortals because you had friends and family, no one will actually know the context of how you died because the unusual nature of your deaths disappears into the conflagration. There are so many destroyed bodies, so many piles of ash, so many ruined things that everything that would be weird is unseen. It's just a disaster, national tragedy. It's going to be on the news. They might find your salsa, Ayrton. Your rich, creamy man bacon.
Can you not call it man bacon? Like literally anything else.
He could call it long pig bacon. Would that make you feel better?
A little bit.
Church gets a closed casket. I mean, everyone's getting a closed casket funeral, but specifically, Church gets a closed casket funeral because Church's body will be quietly reclaimed by the organization. Your parts will go on and on and on, even if you didn't.
Unfortunately, the ritual that I was involved with does not cover me for this sort of problem.
I mean, it does and it doesn't. As some characters die, if you want to bring your character back, there is the opportunity, although not the promise, to be approached by a occult entity to eat your death. You could in fact be one of the few survivors of this scenario.
Well, I mean, I was already an occultist
there-
who was on the path of immortality, so my
Right.
character would totally pursue that.
Well, there is also the potential, as I joke about man salsa, that there is a thing called the post-mortem embrace. You could be brought back as vampires by interested parties.
Yeah, no.
There are a number of ways of coming back, but the end of this life cycle of these characters in this way is a certainty. Even your character, Church, could theoretically have a cybernetic reconstruction, but you'd be more RoboCop and less you at that point.
Could he be the RoboCop where they put in like hundreds of different objectives that don't make any sense, except all of the objectives are alcoholism and violence related?
He'd be the Mexican RoboCop, on 10,000 pesos.
10,000 peso, man.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
Well then, I did not see that coming.
I in fact have been holding on to that for a number of weeks since we started talking about the idea of wrapping the season because of the delays.
I totally thought it was going to be so much worse than that.
What, then getting blown up and turned into chunky salsa?
Yeah.
There's
you.
Mad Bacon McCartney.
It's you. I was expecting something 1,000 times more horrifying than that.
So, are we still doing this original plan we talked about months and months ago of doing a superhero game now?
If you guys would like to, I think that the idea is that we will set up a Twitch channel and then do it there, and then break down the longer, and to avoid the breaks in session.
Yeah.
We'll set aside 2 days a month where we can sit down for a couple of hours and just do the game, like 5-hour sessions if we need to.
Yeah.
And then break those up and then put them on the YouTube channel.
Right. So that you, the consumer, can have a better product.
Correct.
Buy Coke.
Yeah.
Enough of it for a mountain.
Today's episode brought to you by Firehouse Tires.
Firestone tires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Firehouse is the subs.
I mean, those two. we need to use this tracker more often. I don't know what it is, but we need to use it both for jokes and to actually keep track of what we're talking about.
I mean, that's not a bad idea to keep track of what we're actually doing.
No, I can just imagine, here we are, one of us is on a serious tear, and, the tracker comes up at the bottom, and it's like, such and such sucks cocks, I have proof. Somebody help. We can't leave the studio. There are armed men threatening our families.
That's right. Blink twice if you're being held against your will.
You mean like that?
Oh, yes, Kathy, we should add that to the list of things Temujin is not allowed to do. Since we're here and we got a couple of minutes, you will enjoy this joke. This will give you a laugh, Church. Temujin is an old PC of mine, and and was useful because he has this set of abilities. But there is a list. It was made. It's a formal list of things Temujin is not allowed to do because of the chicanery I used to get up to at game.
So here's a question. Did this list come before or after the list of things Dr. Light is not allowed to do?
Came well after, but it was in the spirit of that list because when I was a member of the Mind's Eye Society, we used to have fun, and at some point fun stopped being okay. Right?
I thought you hate fun.
Fun is problematic.
No, I enjoy fun, but I want real fun. But we just one day we started working out this list of things Temujin had done and was not allowed to do, and I want to share some key ones with everybody that I think are funny. Temujin is not allowed to tell people that this document is a drinking game.
Wait, what was that?
Temujin is not allowed to tell people that the list of things Temujin is not allowed to do is a drinking game.
Huh?
Temujin is not allowed to claim to be a dogfish.
Okay.
Dogfish.
He's a werewolf. He can't claim to be a dogfish.
Okay.
Temujin is not allowed to call himself the Burger King.
The Burger King? All right.
Let's see here. I'm looking for the really good ones because there are some good ones. Temujin is not allowed to sniff other people, even if they like it.
So he's Joe Biden?
Temujin may not call the homeless people Pokemon.
Wait, did Temujin the originator of being able to take the ducks home from the park?
He would.
You know they're free.
Temujin is not allowed to tell others to chase cars. It's not a rite of passage. Temujin is not allowed to greet people with a knife and fork. And he's not allowed to refer to other people as the long pig.
Yeah, they might start hollering.
Temujin is not allowed to have a burlap sack under any circumstances. Temujin may not call his bite fuzzy kisses.
Jesus fuck.
Temujin, he's not allowed to parachute into gatherings.
Oh man, why not?
Well, the immediate one following that is Temujin is not allowed to have a parachute anymore. So he must have done something good. Temujin is no longer allowed to impersonate himself.
I'm surprised Church hasn't made that rule for me yet.
Yeah, Ayrton's not allowed to be Ayrton.
Temujin is not allowed to kill juggalos, even if they deserve it.
I'm going to revoke that one, actually.
Yeah.
He is now.
Yeah. I'm definitely vetoing that one.
Temujin is not allowed to sleep in someone else's bed, not even if they are also in the bed.
Okay.
Temujin may not narrate reality like National Geographic.
Okay, I got to hear the burlap sack story.
The burlap sack story is actually from Temujin's first entrance into game. The game was set in New Zealand, and everyone was at a big gathering where they were figuring out how society was going to work in this game where all the supernaturals lived together. And Temujin walked into gathering with a bloody, dripping burlap sack. And everybody was like, what the fuck is that? And Temujin sat down with his burlap sack and he just, put it on the table. And they're like, Temujin, what's the deal with the sack? He's like, the sack. You want to know about the sack? And they're like, yeah, what's with the sack? So he takes the sack and he upends it and he pours out 5 heads onto the floor. And informs the rest of the gathering that the leadership of the pure nation will no longer be a problem.
I assumed that he would say something much cooler like, I brought lunch.
The important point here is that this is the very first game.
No need to freak out and lose your head.
The important point was that this was the first game, and he had literally walked in murdering 5 people, making a clear statement that he is not to be fucked with because he murders people.
Or you want him on your side because he murders people.
Right.
I wanted to go with him.
Which brings us to a good comic book based one. Temujin is not Nick Fury, even if he has one eye and wears a long coat. Temujin is not Morgan Freeman. Temujin may not call Morgan Freeman.
What about Halle Berry? Can he get Halle Berry if he has her number?
I mean, that'd be good. Temujin is not a member of the Screen Actors Guild. Temujin
What about
does
the
not,
Film Actors Guild?
Temujin does not work for the Academy. Temujin does not know the Oscar winners.
Temujin cannot slap Chris Rock again.
He can bang Jada though.
I mean, the guy who slapped Chris Rock can't bang Jada.
Temujin is not allowed to wear underwear outside his clothes and claim to be Superman.
I mean, these rules sound
I also
impressive.
I also have that court order.
Temujin is not allowed to order a McGangbang at McDonald's.
Hey, now, the McGangbang is a perfectly legitimate order at McDonald's.
No, you got to go to McDonald's and tell them you want to land, air, and sea. That's how they're marketing it, where you put a fish sandwich, a chicken sandwich, and a double cheeseburger together.
I would so try that.
Temujin is not allowed to take other people's children anywhere.
I'm with that.
Temujin is not an official babysitter. Temujin is not a member of the Babysitters Union. Temujin may not claim there is a Babysitters Union. Temujin is not a part of the Babysitters Club. Temujin may not wear babies in public. Temujin may not call babies his dingo treats.
All right. Well, I'm really upset that we didn't get to meet this character before.
Oh, I was holding off on him. I thought it was going to be this big thing. You're going to meet this guy. It's going to be so cool. And it's like, oh, well, the season is coming to a close, and we're shutting it up because it's been in hiatus. You know, this was our little hour to half-hour TV movie. It's like, okay, here's the not a big bad you would have met. He's going to kill you now.
You know, now I feel like what should happen is our characters should come back to life and be reborn as werewolves.
Well, I mean,
so we could go follow Temujin around like puppies.
Well, no. If in the future world of Darkness, if you guys want to play werewolf, I can make werewolves. You can run into Temujin. That'd be cool. Also, Temujin is not to be called El Generalissimo Grande, and he is not the El Presidente of Taco Bell.
We would have to have new players that don't know the lore of Temujin that way, that when it does happen, we can be like, nobody say anything.
Oh, this one's topical for us. Temujin is not allowed to dress up as an orc from any fantasy setting.
Wait, why?
Probably because he's also not allowed to reenact Lord of the Rings, not allowed to call anyone his precious, may not cosplay as Gollum, and may not cosplay as Andy Serkis.
Just put on the Benedict Cumberbatch motion cap suit and mask. I'm smelled. Roar! And then the entire place erupts in flames. See, I set it on fire.
Temujin may not urinate in bleach to make mustard gas.
I mean, if that's something that you do, you should seek medical attention.
What if you just really like mustard?
Yeah, really.
What else am I supposed to... Go ahead.
Temujin is not allowed to have more than 6 shots of tequila.
I feel like that's too much for anybody. On an average night out, no one should imbibe more than 1 shot of tequila ever, because nothing good happens after the second one.
Exactly.
Temujin may not offer or claim lewd acts as a form of payment.
What if he identifies as a woman?
You know, it never came up.
So I would have refreshed my memory because it's been a while since we talked about this campaign for a superhero game.
Wait,
it's been a while.
I got one more, just because this was a good one. Temujin may not, under any circumstances, paint himself white and run through the streets naked, screaming moon madness. Okay. Superhero game.
So you're still waiting to play that character from Aces, from Wild Cards, right? Church.
Yeah, if we could figure out a way to make me Croyd, that'd be cool.
wasn't that his cameo we just had, where he was snorting that entire thing of cocaine?
That is the thing Croyd would do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I want to be Lube Man.
What?
Lube Man.
From The Watchmen.
Yeah. I wear a
You don't
silver.
remember Lube Man?
I wear a silver spandex suit with goggles and pour lube on myself to slide into places.
Larry,
No.
you knew you were signing on for this level of bullshit.
That's a no. I mean, I'm already having to get the train wreck the church wants to do in. There's only so much I can lube in.
Well, that's why you need Lube Man.
No. Here's what will happen. One of my incarnations will be Lube Man. How about that? We'll put that in the random roll.
Did we just refer to the character as Preparation H?
In Rune, you're still going to play the Luchador, right?
Yes. El Hombre Lobo.
I mean, I know we had talked about you being Hawkeye, but a jazz musician.
Me or
Ayrton.
Did we?
Yeah.
We talked loosely about that idea. Like, what other superhero archetype do you have a vaguely strong feeling about?
I mean, I guess I can do that. I mean, Lube Man would be the other one.
What if you're Super Alex Jones?
I am not doing Alex Jones' voice for
the more
5-hour game sessions.
Look, the more powerful your political jingo, the stronger you get. It's like the Hulk if the Hulk was Alex Jones.
And according to
Alex Jones angry! Alex Jones a human! Alex Jones eat red meat!
And according to Alex Jones, he actually has Hulk powers.
He does.
I mean, I believe him.
He does. Have you seen that man?
Hey,
he's huge.
Hey, Stan Lee turned into the Hulk once.
Sure, Stan.
He did.
Oh, poor Stan.
So we're gonna
Stan,
fill this up. We're gonna do this on like a Twitch doobly-doo, and then we're gonna chop it up into bits for a YouTube doobly-doo.
Yep.
Yes.
Essentially.
Now, another idea that has emerged since the game book.
Real quick, I have one concern about Twitch. I don't have to wear a bikini and be in a bathtub, do I, Church?
You don't. No.
Okay.
But I mean that would help our views.
It would.
Maybe if in the future we decide to do D&D and we do a crossover with Tabletopless.
You don't have to do that unless we get.
But
how many subs on Twitch for Ayrton being a hot tub?
But then we need
10,000.
an OnlyFans. We need an OnlyFans at that point.
If we get 10,000, I will sit in.
No, we got to make it. We got to make it a reasonable goal.
That is reasonable.
500. Get 500.
Okay.
Not followers.
All right. Let me put it this way.
500 people paying us money to watch.
Wait. Let me put it this way. We start not an OnlyFans. We start a Patreon. Okay.
We have a Patreon,
and when we have enough followers on the Patreon that are supporting us financially, okay. Not only will Ayrton appear in a bathtub, in a micro bikini, but for one very special customer who pays out the nose, you can have that micro bikini.
Gross.
And a jar of the water.
Gross.
You
Now,
say gross, but it works for Delphine. Why wouldn't it work for Ayrton? Are you saying people don't want Ayrton's bacon-flavored water?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
It'd probably be more steak-flavored. That's mostly what I eat.
Now, I do also want to mention, though, an interesting alternative idea has emerged because the game books for it have emerged since we discussed our ideas originally. A company has developed a G.I. Joe role-playing game book. And, more relevant to Church's interest than that, a Power Rangers role-playing game book.
I'm sold.
Are you advocating for a crossover of the two?
Well, no. And further, this company, using the same rule system, is also developing a Transformers role-playing game book.
Now, G.I. Joe and Transformers already had a crossover.
So so Power Rangers and Transformers.
So here's my question for you. We have discussed this superhero idea, but would you rather be 3 teens with attitude plus 2 NPC teams to be a Power Ranger squad?
I'd rather be a Transformer.
I would definitely be a Power Ranger, but
I mean, yeah, Power Ranger would be cool.
I'd have to see the book. I'd have to see the system and know what I'm getting into.
It's a
You would get a
vaguely
Zord.
D20. It's a vaguely D20 system.
I'm just saying the opportunity to just be a Power Ranger is not quite enough for me. I'd have to know more about being a Power Ranger mechanically.
well, I'm sure you would get a Zord.
Hey,
Well,
I just want a dagger flute that plays synthesized saxophone music. All right.
That is wonderful.
All right, I might be able to do something edgelordy enough to be a Power Ranger, and not hate myself in the morning.
Send me a message, Larry, and I'll see if I can find some totally legit legal copies of these books for everybody.
Oh, I'm sure Larry's already got them, and if he doesn't,
I mean, I don't already have them yet, but I was actually considering buying the PDF mainly because my buddy Tom, who I've vented my frustration about for our games, has gotten the book, and if we have enough players who want to play Transformers, we would totally play Transformers. And if we had enough people who want to play Power Rangers, we'd totally play Power Rangers. I mean, come on. But let me post the link to the company's website. They're producing all 3 of those, and they. I mean, I would love to run all 3 of those as campaigns for us, including working.
Now, see, that's what I would like. If in my diseased dreaming, if we're gonna play a Power Rangers RPG, and we're gonna front for a company that made one, I damn well want that sponsorship.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is I would enjoy the idea of us doing a Power Rangers series of games, Transformers, and then we wrap it up playing the most elite military squad in existence with the least elite dress code.
What's that?
G.I. Joe.
Oh, yes.
Where you could play Temujin as a G.I. Joe because that makes sense for how the G.I. Joes work.
Oh, no. Temujin would not fit in G.I. Joe.
I mean, he would technically be more Cobra if we want to be frank.
I mean, being a World of Darkness character, you are always way more Cobra than you are G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe would be like if we were playing Hunter the Vigil. Because one of the Hunter the Vigil groups is a worldwide conspiracy called Task Force Valkyrie, which is literally what if G.I. Joe hunted monsters internationally.
Now, you see, if I knew about that, I'd be down with playing that Hunter game. Most of the Hunter games I don't care for.
Oh, Hunter the Vigil is great. Hunter the Reckoning is trash.
You see, I actually liked first edition Old World of Darkness Hunter, where it was just
that's
you're a
Reckoning.
human. No, before that, they published a splat book for you're a human and you're hunting down werewolves and vampires. Good luck, buddy. Pat on the back. This is before they made the Inquisition book and before they made the Arcanum book.
Yeah.
Also before they made Project Twilight.
Yeah. But yeah, Hunter the Vigil is 3 tiers of play. There's street level, which is basically the TV show Supernatural. There's compact level, which is like city-wide. And there's conspiracy level. And conspiracy level is exactly as batshit as it sounds. It's also the level at which hunters kind of stop being human. Because you start getting actual low-grade supernatural Woogie.
Mm-hmm.
See, that sounds more fun.
Yeah, Church's character that just died would have fit in very well in a Hunter game.
Basically, the hunters would have found him in the wreckage of the exploded vampire thing, saying, "Hey, buddy, how would you like to go on an unending war against the creatures of the night that just blew you up?"
I think he'd be down for that. Hey, buddy.
The church would start hollering and blasting.
We call him Robo Church.
But
is it Robo Church or Church Cop?
I like Robo Church.
Robo Church?
Yeah. Oh no, I think he left us.
Can you hear me?
He dropped us a. Oh, there we go. Yeah, now we can hear you. Church.
I hate you, Larry.
Why?
Because
what?
There's a Power Rangers deck building game on this website.
Oh yeah.
Larry. My wallet and my closet can't accommodate much more cardboard, Larry.
I mean, these people paid for that license, so they're wanting to get their money.
My notion is that we'll do the superhero game for roughly the same number of physical episodes, because the goal is a season of 10. Okay. Which, if we're gonna play roughly 5-hour games, basically it's 2 of those sessions cut up into 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Right. And then we would switch games, and whatever game we switch to would be another game, which could be a different visit to the world of darkness. But now that you guys have done a game at least once, one of the facets that I would like to encourage is you guys actually make your own characters. It's not that I'm adverse to helping you out. I'm sure Larry will help us figure out how to do Power Rangers.
The superheroes. Power Rangers and superheroes are both going to be easy.
It's just that if you guys are gonna continue to play games, it's a good idea if you guys actually make characters that you're more invested in from the get-go, rather than being surprised to find you enjoy.
No, I was gonna say I really did like the build of what I was working with. Like, if I was gonna play that again, I would probably play that again.
But I believe in private conversations, Ayrton has said it's like, wow, next time I really want to make a character, I don't just want to make Alex Jones jokes.
I mean, I'm still probably going to make...
You're going to make Alex Jones jokes,
yeah. My character's still going to be a shitpost.
I mean, if we ever play Call of Cthulhu, you can play Alex Jones as a Call of Cthulhu character.
Ayrton, if we play G.I. Joe, is that your G.I. Joe code name?
Alex Jones? Hell yeah.
No, shitpost.
Oh, shitpost? Yes.
Dude, be intelligence warfare, like electronic warfare intelligence gathering.
Yeah.
Be the super psyops hacker dude. And your screen name and your code name for G.I. Joe is shitpost.
All right, I'm locking that in. Where's my fucking pen so I can write
that shit down.
But yeah, these Power Rangers, Transformers, G.I. Joe games are using a modified version of the D20 engine. So it's similar to D&D. But the superhero game would be using Fate, which Rune and I were talking about before the show started.
I mean, off and on. Fate is not my favorite game system, but at least it's not powered by the apocalypse.
Yeah, but Fate is a good system for slapping together a point-buy superhero game with.
All right, I wrote it down.
So, is it time to say goodnight, everybody?
I think it might be. Because
Church?
I feel like Church is going to hurl again any minute.
I've hurled 3 times on this show. It's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, Church, how about you, take some Imodium or whatever kind of stomach happy pills you need to take, and you go take a nap.
Or just slam a Taco Bell 12-pack and just shit and throw up everything out of your system so you're good. That's what I do.
Thank you.
Okay. I was going to say, do we have to do the sign out, and do I have to end the stream?
It's been a great while since I had to add something to the list. I now have something to add to the list of things Temujin is not allowed to do.
Blow up gas mains or just wreck everything in general?
No, Temujin is not allowed to weaponize vomit.
Oh,
Oh no, seriously. Back in Vampire the Masquerade days, there's a Nosferatu merit. You could, because a vampire can technically eat things that are not food.
Yeah.
Which for vampires means a lot of things.
Right. As a Nosferatu, you could actually retain your gag reflex. So one of the suggested tools was like eat a bunch of nails, eat some glass, eat some fucking wood chips, and then projectile vomit them at people.
I was gonna say just drink some gasoline and just become a dragon.
Well, no, that would burn you because it would go back into your stomach and light you on fire, which would be aggravated damage, which is a bad idea.
Now, if you're a Tremere, you can totally do that.
Oh yeah, if you're true, you just wiggle your fingers and people can get lit on fire. Good night, Miss Rena. I think we have talked long enough that we have people in the audience who are going to bed. I believe that is the cue.
So,
Later,
good night, everybody. Look at the Bird Internet for the superhero game.
Bird
announced.
Yeah, we'll schedule it off air and then figure out everything.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, ladles and jelly spoons. Until next time.
And watch out for hollering hogs.
Too-wee!